Somebody who knows a thing or two about energy is Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, I would imagine instead of doing an idiotic deal with the mullahs of Iran and sucking up to the murdering thug dictator in Venezuela, Maduro, and begging OPEC only to be rejected again and again and again to produce more oil, I would imagine Texas, Oklahoma, Alaska would be very open to producing as much as possible in terms of oil, and West Virginia and Pennsylvania and Ohio would be open to giving us natural gas. But what do I know? I'm just a talk show host.
Well, Sean, you're absolutely right. But you know, as you know, the Democrats are in panic mode. They're in free fall because they created this crisis. You know, I enjoyed watching your video of Pete Buttigieg talking about wild price fluctuations. When Joe Biden became president, gasoline, the average price was $2.38 a gallon. Today, it's $4.23 a gallon. It is nearly doubled in 15 months under Joe Biden. They've waged a war on domestic energy production. They canceled the Keystone Pipeline. They shut off leases on federal lands. They shut down drilling in Anwar. All of that's deliberate. It's what Joe Biden promised. He told Democratic primary voters, if you elect me, I will halt drilling. And you know what? That's a promise that he has been working overtime to keep. And now the Democrats are in panic mode because they realize that people don't like paying $4, $5, $6. You know, in California, it's nearly $7 a gallon for gas. And so on inflation, the White House has had 5 separate lies on inflation. Their first lie was, it's not happening. Don't believe your eyes. There is no inflation. Their second lie was, oh, it's transitory. Yes, it's happening, but it's transitory just for a moment. Their third lie, this was from Ron Klain, is it's a high-class problem. It's there, but it's a high-class problem. Aren't you lucky to have inflation? Their fourth lie was it's happening. It's not transitory. It's not high-class, but it's a good thing. It's a sign of how great the economy is that you can't afford to pay for your groceries or fill your car. And then lie number 5 that every Biden apparatchik is repeating is Putin, Putin, Putin. They've decided politically, let's blame this train wreck of a Biden energy policy on Vladimir Putin. Well, you know what? The gasoline prices had ridden 48% before Putin invaded Ukraine. As the stickers say on the gas pumps, I did this. Joe Biden did this.
You know, and what do you make of the president, for example? I thought his trip abroad was a disaster, telling our troops, oh, you'll get to see it in Ukraine yourself, revealing that our troops, America might be training Ukrainian troops. I doubt that's something that maybe we wanted the world to know or Vladimir Putin to know. I would consider that in the covert operation plausible deniability category. Then calling for regime change only to be corrected by his own staff as they clean up his mess, and then to double down and do it again after they cleaned up the mess, and now there's no way to clean it up this time on top of every other gaffe that he makes. Your reaction? I don't think he's cognitively up to this job, Senator, and it's dangerous.
Look, it's gaffe after gaffe after gaffe, and the White House team desperately tries to keep him away from public scrutiny.
Is it a gaffe, or is he in a cognitive decline? It seems to me obvious.
Yeah, look, he's clearly in major decline. I can tell you it's strange. Biden, they don't allow him to talk to most Republican senators. When we have lunch together, Republican senators, almost to a person, none of us have spoken to him since he became president. That's weird. Look, Joe Biden swore me into office 10 years ago. We all know him. He served in the Senate for 4 decades. But the White House is terrified that anyone who interacts with him realizes he's not up to the task. So they keep him protected. They keep him on talking points. They give him a narrow script. And even that, he screws up. And you know, you've got this war in Ukraine. Joe Biden caused this war in Ukraine. How did he do it? When he waived sanctions on Nord Stream 2, sanctions that I authored, that I wrote, that Donald Trump signed into law. When he waived those sanctions, he let Putin build the natural gas pipeline to get his gas to Europe, which is why Putin invaded Ukraine. The president of Ukraine told us the reason Putin invaded Ukraine is because of Nord Stream 2. And I got to say, Sean, it's an amazing thing that there's one pipeline and one pipeline on planet Earth that Joe Biden and his cronies like, and that's Nord Stream 2 because it helped Vladimir Putin. But if there are pipelines in America that create jobs here at home, they want to shut them all down.
Can you explain the difference if you drill for a barrel of oil in one of the OPEC nations, or Venezuela, or Iran, or Russia, or the United States? Explain to me what the difference is in terms of the impact to Mother Earth, because I would argue our guys probably do it cleaner and better than anybody else. But yet they're okay with importing oil and begging tyrants for oil, but they're not okay with drilling our own oil and using our own resources. I can't explain that one, can you?
You're exactly right. America produces oil and produces gas cleaner than just about anybody else on Earth. And what Biden has done is hammered U.S. production and shifted production overseas. To give you an example of that, natural gas production in the United States, in Texas or in Pennsylvania and Ohio, it is about 6 times cleaner than production in Venezuela. But Biden wants to put billions in the pockets of Maduro in Venezuela, of the Ayatollah in Iran, of Putin in Russia. And he wants to do it at the same time that they produce more oil and gas that pollutes more, that emits more CO2. He's not doing this for the environment. The environment keeps getting worse because he is reducing clean U.S. production and shifting to dirty foreign production. But the thing to understand when I talk to leaders in the energy industry is listen, you can't talk to the Biden administration with facts or reason or substance.
It's insane.
They are zealots. This is a religious conviction. They want to bankrupt all American energy domestic production, and you're seeing the results at your gas pump.
All right, Senator Ted Cruz, Texas, thank you as always.